But at number 2 for me, the only school for me that had 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in college football is the Auburn Tigers. Eric Singleton Jr. transferring in from Georgia Tech. He's my number 5 receiver in the country. And right behind him at number 6 is true sophomore Cam Coleman, you see on the screen right there as well. Eric Singleton Jr. over the last 2 years has 1,468 receiving yards, second among returning Power 4 wide receivers, and 664 receiving yards on deep throws are the most among returning Power 4 receivers. He has unbelievable track speed out there. Eric Singleton Jr. does as well. Cam Coleman, like I said before, my number 6 receiver in the country. He was also a top 5 recruit coming out of high school. He's actually one of 3 receivers who was a top 5 recruit coming out in the 2024 class with Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams. And yes, they had better freshman years than Cam Coleman, but I think Cam Coleman's in for a major breakout as a true sophomore. Actually, Dalton, in the final 3 weeks of the regular season, Cam Coleman had led the nation with 6 touchdown catches and had the 6th most receiving yards with 306 yards. Over the final 3 games, he averaged over 100 yards a game and 2 touchdowns per game. He really started to show why he was a top 5 recruit coming out of high school. And also he dealt with not a great quarterback situation either, unlike what Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams had at Ohio State and Alabama. Should have a massive sophomore breakout year next year. And behind them, some really talented players as well in Malcolm Simmons, Perry Thompson, Bryce Kane, all of them only second-year players at Auburn. And Auburn brought in Horatio Fields from Wake Forest. He was Wake Forest's number 2 receiver last year as well. So a deep receiver room for Auburn, and then also 2 superstars leading it in Eric Singleton Jr. and Cam Coleman.
We've mentioned it. Auburn's trying to get explosive, and it's all on Jackson Arnold now. When you have that much talent at receiver, especially with Coleman and Simmons as the young guys, and then Eric Singleton with the blazing speed from Georgia Tech and Fields, like you mentioned, from Wake Forest, they've got all the weapons in the world. This is on Jackson Arnold now. When you have this much talent around you, I think you have to be able to execute. And they're going to run the ball a lot. Look, Hugh Freeze loves to run the ball. Arnold's even going to be involved in that. But at the end of the day, Auburn's trying to get more explosive, and they've got one of the best sets of weapons in the country to do it. I think Singleton and Coleman especially are going to be big factors, not only in Auburn's success, but maybe the entire SEC race. If Auburn and Jackson Arnold, if they can take advantage of all the talent that they have, they could be, you've mentioned them as a dark horse playoff contender. They could be a dark horse SEC contender because their defense is going to be good. They can always run the ball under Hugh Freeze, and now they just got to match it with the passing game. That's the only thing they really weren't able to do the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackson Arnold before had maybe the worst receiving core in college football and one of the worst offensive lines in college football at Oklahoma last year. Now he has my number 2 receiving core in the country, and spoiler, Auburn will be in my top 10 offensive lines list as well. We do that very soon as well. So got a lot to work with. Jackson Arnold does. Now he can finally show whether or not he deserved being a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, but a much better supporting cast for Jackson Arnold at Auburn than he had at Oklahoma. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.